This week's episode of Queer relates to all of us. We sat down with Canada's Drag Race resident choreographer, Hollywood Jade. We dissect social media, media as a whole, and its impact on our lives. You'll find out what made Hollywood say this.
It's crazy to see how greatly the world has shifted, where I'm on a show like Canada's Drag Race being the most authentic version of myself possible. And that's exactly what they wanted. Like, they didn't want me to butch it up. They didn't want me to femme it up. They wanted me to just be authentically myself. And it's amazing that within the span of my career that I've gone from yo baby, yo to gay wrists.
Enjoy, y'all.
Hey all you kings and queens and everything in between. It's J-Ho, aka at Decent People, and welcome to Queer.
I'm Alexander Jamal, as you guys already know, the one and only. Follow my OnlyFans page. Hopefully by now it's already live. Kidding.
And I'm Vince, aka the Vinifex, and I'm just like here for the snacks.
And today we have a special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. What's up, everybody? My name is Hollywood Jade. I don't know what else to say after that. It gets weird.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Tell us.
See, I knew that was coming. I am a choreographer and artistic director.
Yes.
Cute.
We love to dance.
So today's episode is going to be on media, social media, and everything related. So do you have an icebreaker?
No. Should we?
Pulse check?
I feel like that's my fault.
But
So
I think we
for
need that.
everyone,
Okay.
I sprung this on them.
Wait, I kind of have an icebreaker for everybody since
Okay.
we are kind of talking about social media. Question for everybody here. Does your social media presence, is it true to your authentic self? If yes, then explain. And if no, then like, who are you trying to portray on social media or like what? I can go first to give you guys a little bit of time to think about it. But on social media, I don't think I'm trying to portray anybody except for somebody that just likes to take shirtless selfies. Also, I'm looking to get validated. So that's the main reason why I'm on social media. And also, I just like to take pictures of food. That's pretty much me. I'm not like trying to be anything else. I'm not trying to be an influencer. It's just shirtless selfies and food.
Okay.
I love that. Mine does portray me because it's been like in algorithm terms, like kind of like wishy-washy and kind of like dipped below. Because I was talking about something that mattered in the moment, and something that mattered more to me were like talking about other people's lives. And now I'm kind of like finding a good medium. So yeah, I think it's a good balance and does represent who I am. And the following is just there.
But your social media is like all about makeup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that you're like, that is who you are?
Yes, because you are experiencing my inner feelings and emotions through art.
Yeah. And I've seen your social media. It's very creative. Like,
Thank you.
you are serving looks.
Thank you.
Jamal.
I go through phases, but they're not like premeditated phases. So like, yeah, I know what works on social media. I know that like sex sells. So
Thirst traps.
yeah. So it's like a lot of times I'll post like pictures in a tank top or pictures like shirtless, stuff like that. But do I go out of my way to create this facade on social media?
Facade.
Not necessarily. It's just that I know who follows me,
Gays.
yeah, what they want to see, and I'm just like, yeah, why
Shirtless.
not? Like half the time I don't even care in the moment, and like I'll take a sexy picture like right after I take a shit, and it's just like it's not a sexy moment. I'm just
Work.
doing it for the sake of doing it because I'm bored, and it's just like it is what it is. So like for example, the reason why I say I know I don't care is because if like I post a picture and all of a sudden that someone comes up to me or messages me on Facebook and they're like, oh, you look so sexy. Like the last thing I'm going to do is reply to you. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, you were simply taking the bait, and I'm like, why
You
would
got caught in the thirst
yeah,
trap.
like why would I want to talk to you? Do you know what I mean? Like you're garbage.
Is
Anyway,
that why you didn't answer me?
most likely, bitch?
I said mint. Like you look good. Like whatever. I was giving you a compliment.
What was I gonna say to Mint? Chocolate?
Thank you.
Yeah, that would be cute. Hello.
Or you're welcome.
Yeah.
I guess.
But now knowing that, it makes sense. So thank you.
I purposely didn't reply to you because I was like, you said Mint.
Oh, so it was on purpose.
it wasn't like again, it wasn't premeditated.
Oh my god, the girls are fighting.
I'm sorry, I like fighting with you. It's fine.
No, it was just like, what do you say when someone says Mint? Nothing. Just close the fucking message and move on.
great.
Really?
Yeah.
I would totally say thank you.
I don't have
Yeah.
to.
because like I think you posted it because you feel like you look good.
Yeah,
So
that's what I thought.
If somebody is going to co-sign that, why wouldn't you acknowledge the cosign?
Thank you.
So now, what do you do when 300 people are co-signing that?
Well,
girl,
that's
that
300.
That's not an
Where
issue
are
that
the
I've ever
receipts?
had.
That is
so
a lie.
I can't relate.
I can tell you guys, so since I posted my last picture that I posted an hour before you guys got here, my messages are blowing up.
Wow. Did you answer
Well, what
any
does
of
the
them?
photo look
No,
like?
I didn't message any of them back.
Wow.
Mind you, my phone's on airplane mode and it already has 363 likes.
Great.
Ooh.
Trending.
Like,
Vanity thing?
No, but like, am I seriously going to sit here and message you? Like, no, like, I don't care.
You're not gonna sit here and message
But you
300
know me.
people?
But you know me.
Mm.
So that's
Okay,
weird.
You know what? I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, I'm
Thank
just
you.
kidding. Okay.
Okay, can
All
we
right.
let our guest answer?
I know, I'm so sorry.
Like,
no, that was
damn.
no that was an interesting perspective actually. I think I am very authentic on social media. I hardly post on my profile, and if I do, it's usually about work. And I use my Instagram story more regularly. And my days always starts the same. It starts with my devotion to God, and then we move on to everything else, which on any given day could be a variety of things, of dance videos, clips of hot people, just my life in a nutshell.
Love that.
See, and I think social media should be that.
Mhm.
But I think a lot of people take it in various different directions. Like you have people that, yes, use their social media strictly just for work, which is great because, it gets your business out there. It
Mhm.
reaches a lot more people that way. And then there are people that use social media kind of as I don't want to use the word facade because we've been using that word quite a bit today.
Outlet.
Not an outlet. I almost just want to say they use it as like this like imaginary platform for their life. Like I know people that their social media life and their real life is
Two completely
not
different
the
things.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the person they are trying to portray on social media is absolutely not who they are. And it's just inauthentic. It's not real. And it's like, I almost feel it's more energy and more time consuming to portray this character of who you want people to think you are than your actual life. Like, just post a fucking cat vid that you think is cute. Like,
Well, also too, now you have to look at it that a lot of people are using social media as a means of income, So like social media, like there are people who are training to work in social media. Like it's an actual like field now. So I get that. And people are always telling me, oh, you should clean up your social media. No one cares about your friend's 28th birthday I'm like, yeah, but I care about it.
Yeah.
And I want what you get when you come to if you follow me on social media, what you see there is what you get in real life, because then I'd have to keep up that facade when you do see me in real life. I'm not just someone who exists on a screen. Like I interact with people on a regular basis. So
right.
I try to be as authentic. So when you come into my space, I'm going to be like, praise Jesus and look how fat his butt is, all in the same sentence.
Amazing.
See, I agree with Hollywood on that aspect. It's like you don't know why someone's using social media. Like it can be simply to post food pictures. It can be to post family pictures, but there's so many people using it to make money, whether it be to gather an audience to your OnlyFans or gather an audience to your YouTube channel. Like you don't know, right? And it is an amazing tool to build an audience. Back in the day, like if you were a singer, you would have to open up for like thousands of artists. Now, all you need is one viral 10-second video and there it goes, right? So now what else helps than playing the role of social media or playing the role of playing a social media whore, then that, nothing else. You know what I mean?
Also, I'll say to that point, it's like when I think about people who are these big personalities on TV and in their personal life, they're like, I can't find somebody to date, or people always see me out and want me to turn on and be that thing. And like, I'm just trying to go grocery shopping. Like the same thing is happening with social media, you know, like even the influencers who like people pay them to come to their parties. Like now you have to show up in this full getup and you're taking pictures all night and you're on your phone all night and you don't actually get to go out and enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And on the rare occasion where you try to do that, if someone recognizes you, now it's a photo opportunity. So that's why I'm the opposite. I was like, look, I don't need to be famous on Instagram.
Do you think that this desire to be loved on social media is more prevalent within the queer community?
I think it's huge in the queer community because this is going to sound terrible, but we can be really, really shallow, like very, very shallow.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing better than feeling like you have a one up on somebody in a queer space. I don't know where that thing came from, but it's a reality. So you have people who, like, you look at Pride in Miami, for example, the Sizzle boys,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they get the hottest boys from wherever in the world to come and be the Sizzle models for the weekend. And everyone's lusting after these people, and all they want to do is take their clothes off and get their backs blown out, but no one wants to take them seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh my
so
God, where do I sign up?
I've never heard of this.
you've never been to
No.
Sizzle in Miami? Oh
Girl,
my
let's go once
gosh.
Corona's over.
It's
Yeah,
lit.
let's have some
It's a good
Yeah.
time. I
It's literally like the gay party of Miami.
like
Really?
it's good. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Nice.
I'm past that phase in my life of chasing thirst trap boys, but
I don't think I want that, but I can have a good time.
it's
So-
a good. It honestly, it's a great experience to
Yeah.
go and see it because it's like thirst on the greatest degree.
I
Like
love
the way I
that.
describe Miami Sizzle, it's like people work out from December till May to be in the best shape of their lives, to stand up and talk to no one.
And how long is this party? So they work out for like what, a couple hours?
It's like a weekend.
It's a week. It's
Oh,
like it's
yeah.
May 2-4 weekend
Yeah.
in Miami.
All right.
And-
So for like 3
Yeah.
days, they do
Right.
all this work, all this preparation, only to get looked at and gawked at and lusted and drooled over.
right.
And you know what? I hate that. I love it.
I know that sounds fun.
It-
Why not? Like, who cares?
It was a whole experience. It was great.
Yeah.
But I've been to Sizzle multiple times, more than I will like to admit. But it's a good time. It's a thing. You should definitely go check out Miami Sizzle.
So why do you guys feel like queer individuals or people of the LGBTQ community are more impacted or persuaded or shaped by social media and media as a whole?
Can I take this one?
Mhm.
I think that queer people as a whole, like I think we really want to belong because we haven't belonged in the past and for so long that we really just want that sort of
Acceptance.
we just want that feeling. And I think social media does a really good job at like kind of giving you that sense of feeling. Like, I don't want to say it gives you that feeling like authentically because it really doesn't. And it's very like fleeting. It's like, it gives you like a taste of that feeling for like a temporary time. And then you're like, oh yeah, this is what it feels like. And then you want more of it. And I think that's why the queer community like loves it, because it's instant validation. Like, you can post a picture that you know is going to get like a lot of likes, or that people like want like a shirtless selfie, for example. And like, you know that instantly all these gays are going to like it. They're going to comment. They're going to be like, oh my God, yes, love, work. Oh my God, we love it. Like, show us your dick. Like, you know? So
Yeah, it's
I
it's
never
a
thought of
false
that.
sense of like acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really sad to see how much value people put on a double tap.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. That's so interesting.
it's so weird because like, I hate that.
yeah.
But I 100% am like, I'm one of those people that like on some of my worst off days, like if I really need that, like I will post like a picture that's like, I don't know, a couple weeks old, because I know it's going to get like that sort of reaction because I want to feel like, you know, people like me or people want me or people whatever. And like, it's gross that that's what we need to do.
It's okay to want that though. It's okay to like want attention if that's
True.
Yeah, any form of it.
So now, because you said that, like that, it's a shame that that's what we need to do. So let me ask you a question. So now if you're navigating, like, for example, Vince, you do makeup, Hollywood, you dance. If you're navigating entertainment in that aspect, do you feel pressure to adhere to these social media or media guidelines in order to be successful?
There's a certain level of it for sure. Like if it was up to me, I wouldn't be on Instagram at all. Like to be completely honest, I joined Instagram when I launched my heels company because they were like, this is a cheap and easy way to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is get people to follow and then all of those people will see your flyer without having to go put up a bunch of flyers. So I was like, work. And I literally started Instagram for business. And then it turned into this whole thing and it's morphed into so many different versions of itself. So that to a certain degree, it's a necessary tool in this business.
Vince?
I would say that in my case, it's all about trends. And like if there's something that comes out in terms of makeup and it's a trend, you should do it in order to get the views and stuff. However, I am an extreme nonconformist. So if someone's telling me this is a trend, I'm not going to do it. I don't know why. I'm not interested in like following a trend.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just makes me feel like I'm not doing it for the reasons that I'm originally doing it for, which is to, you know, use that as an outlet for my emotions or my feelings and just loving makeup. And then you lose that love because it becomes a job.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's such a strange world to navigate, especially because like my career started before social media was a thing, when I actually had to like be on the ground and like networking and going to places and meeting people. Now I literally can message a director from my phone.
Yeah.
I can message Shonda Rhimes and be like, hey sis, how's it going? Which whether she sees it or not is a different thing,
Right.
But like we have this access that we didn't have before. And so that in itself too creates a whole other thing. It's necessary though, because it's a good way to stay connected and like you said, see what's trending, and whether you want to participate or not, which I usually don't. So, you know,
in terms of that, like I just had a thought. So yeah, it's a great tool for business and stuff, but like I can't remember what it was that I read. I want to say it has something to do with like models, or maybe it's something to do with casting. But like if, let's say you're going for a job and you're a model, and like now or back in the day, it was like, you know, based on like your portfolio and like, you know, XYZ, if you had any sort of talent, or this goes for any sort of creative job, I guess. And then nowadays, it's like a good portion of whether or not you get that job or whatever it may be is like they will look at your social media. And if you don't have X amount of followers, X amount of whatever, they may not even look at you. So how do we feel about that?
1,000%. Like there's jobs that were being casted down to last year in LA where you sign and they ask you for your social media. And it's because these artists now are looking to broaden their fan base by using and by using your fan base.
Right.
You know, so it's like, oh, you have however many K followers and you're a good dancer, hire her over the girl who's equally as good but only has 100,000 followers. You know,
Isn't
like
that crazy?
it was
Because-
the most disgusting thing ever.
Because what, like, those two people could be the same, and maybe that one person that doesn't have X amount of followers, maybe she just, or he, maybe they just don't partake in social media. Maybe that's just not their world. Maybe that's just not their thing. And then they lose out on that opportunity just because they're not joining into the rest of the world over this, like, this wormhole of social media that we're now in.
Yeah. People were losing jobs because they didn't have enough followers. Like literally. Like it was crazy.
Where talent doesn't come into play.
I think maybe talent is now like, it's like on the, not the back burner, but it's like, it's the second thing that people look at.
Yeah.
100%.
Sometimes the third.
But see, I understand why they do it in a sense. Not only because it allows for a larger audience to potentially become fans of whatever the hell they're viewing. I think it's even more minuscule than that. It's just, it allows for so many more people to see it at the click of a button. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before, it's like the largest audience numbers would come from what? The Super Bowl commercials.
Mhm.
Now all you need is Kylie to post,
Right.
and millions upon millions.
It's free
are
advertising.
seeing it. It's free advertising.
It's literally free advertising,
Yes,
and
yeah.
that's why they will take the girl or the boy or the person with more followers over this one, because like you said, the talent has gotten so far down on the list. Like it's like, what do you look like? How many followers do you have?
And what can you do for us?
Oh, and you dance? Okay, cool. That's great. Extra bonus.
So then what advice would you give to someone that's new starting? Because you've done it before social media, or not social media, but you've done it before, like Instagram was a trend, blah, 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 blah. So then what advice would you give to someone navigating in this world today?
I mean, it is definitely a necessary tool. Like I can tell you from experience, like we were casting a job. I was working this video in LA for BB Rexa, and we were looking for a dancer to be the opposite of this guy. And we're like, who do you normally get partnered with? And he sent us the names of the guys that he normally would be opposite of. And at lunch, we went on our phones and just scrolled through and said which one of the three, and we picked one of the three. Bam.
Oh wow.
And messaged them right
And
on Instagram.
messaged him literally, well, there it's agency stuff, but messaged his agency, and he got a job while I was eating a sandwich.
Wow.
And because the first couple things on his thing were dance related, and then he had a really dope photo of him that just happened to work with the theme of the video. So it was like, we know exactly what you're going to look like. We know what you dance like. And this guy already vouched for you. So it's definitely a necessary tool.
Mhm.
Just don't get consumed in it. Like we all as artists, we all do photo shoots. We like to get dressed up. We do all the things, post it. Yes, be my guest. But like when your resume is only Instagram, it doesn't work for me. But Instagram literally has become like a reel and a resume all in one.
See, I like that because I like how, what I like about social media is that it has the capabilities of whatever the hell you want to make it. Do you know what I mean? If you want to go on social media and market yourself as a dog, you can be a dog, literally. You know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
market yourself as a cat, a rabbit, a fucking cow if you wanted to. So I like the fact that we have full control over what we are marketing ourselves as. And when I relate this back to the queer community, I feel like that is something that should be applauded / appreciated, because we are always so judged on our sexuality when it comes to media and entertainment. So for example, when I used to act as a kid, the number one thing I used to go into castings thinking of is make sure I'm masculine. Make sure I'm doing this, make sure I'm doing that, just so I come across as this straight male, right? So how have you guys navigated, at least for you two that are like in entertainment in a way, how have you guys navigated entertainment with regards to sexuality? Have you seen any backlash because of your sexuality? Have you hid? Have you not? How have you guys went about it?
Well, I used makeup and social media as a tool to discover. Well, I knew who I was, and I knew what I wanted to do. I just needed like a smooth transition into like what I could do. So it's all about like, I really liked horror and special effects makeup. It was seen as more masculine. So I used it as a way to get into makeup, but I knew that I really wanted like the like sensation fantasy. Like I wanted to look like a woman. Like I wanted to be a woman. So finally getting into that, I feel more free. I feel like, gender is a spectrum or not. It's just what it is. And I just feel like I do it because it makes me happy.
So wait, question. So do you find that you are more accepted within makeup because you're gay?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. If I know one thing, I know that. And I think that also it gives like social media, having like that face and having posted things like that is different than like if I was just doing it in real life. Because let's go into like drag queens.
Mhm.
Before there was social media, or before media was like more popular to cater to them, they were seen as like clowns or
Mhm.
freaks, and
Mm-hmm.
now they're like celebrated as like a like pop culture because it's now trending and it's now very cool.
Well, now they're more seen as like performers.
performers,
Mhm.
yes. So it's kind of similar in that sense.
Interesting. Hollywood.
Yeah, it's funny. I just listened to an interview I did last month today, and it's funny you ask about this because I answered it in such a great way then, and I'm going to try to change it up, but saying the same thing. It's like, for me, when I first started dancing, I was like 19, fresh out of high school, really just sort of starting to settle into myself and accepting me, all of me, you know, those trying to pretend to be this thing on jobs slowly started going out of the window. Because I realized that it was my duty to help break down those stereotypes and break those walls of you can only cast a straight dancer to partner a girl, you know? So I started showing up to set in all of my glory and really staking claim and taking up space and not hiding. But for a long time, I did have to do that. And it's crazy to see how greatly the world has shifted, where I'm on a show like Canada's Drag Race, being the most authentic version of myself possible. And that's exactly what they wanted. Like, they didn't want me to butch it up. They didn't want me to femme it up. They wanted me to just be authentically myself. And it's amazing that within the span of my career that I've gone from yo baby, yo to gay wrists. Like, do you know what I mean? And social media plays a big part in that, because we basically can curate our own worlds on social media based off of what we like. So if I don't want to see over hyper masculine things, I don't have to. I just don't like them, and then they disappear out of my algorithm. So it's interesting and dangerous all at the same time.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Thanks.
Speaking of like the algorithm
Mhm.
and things that you like. Now, have any of y'all seen that Netflix documentary? It's
The Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
I watched half of it last night, then I fell asleep.
Okay.
Shade.
I watched.
No, right?
Shade.
I was like, girl.
I watched it, but I kind of just put it on the background, and a lot of what they were saying was like a lot of it's scary. I don't know how much of it, like, yeah, like I believe in it, but obviously I still partake in it, so I'm not like that scared where I'm like, okay, let me delete all this shit. But I just found it interesting that a lot of these people that used to work for all these major places like Google and Facebook and whatever,
Pinterest.
Yeah.
All that shit. Yeah, it was too much.
all of these people that were former employees, like, they are the ones that are in this documentary being like telling you how like bad these things are for you.
You see, that's the same reason why I didn't like it so much, because it sounded like a lot of bitter Marys that like don't have their jobs anymore, just coming out like, oh my God, this is why social media sucks, right? And I'm like, okay, you're telling us the shit that we already know, that like if I like 400 pictures of couches, the next ad is going to be a fucking Wayfair couch. Like, we know that, right? Like, tell me something else.
Well,
Tell me.
some people don't know that, and that's the scary part.
I guess that's the problem.
Yeah, like we obviously, because of like even the fact that you have this medium makes us more aware of what's going on. Like, but there are literally people out there who are oblivious to the fact that they double tapped on this is going to directly affect the next thing that they see.
Yeah.
So these documentaries and stuff aren't for us. It's there because there are a lot of not smart people in this world. Like, remember when we were like, common sense isn't common? Like, common sense has completely gone out the window. Like, it is an extinct animal at this point.
But
So-
that being said, I think you have a good point. Like, I think maybe that like social media does kind of add to why common sense is not common anymore. It's because we're now stuck on these screens and these algorithms that like are things that we only like. And now we don't even need to really think.
It's literally a curated world, like Truman Show. Like
Yeah.
literally we are all walking in our phones. It's like, good morning, Truman. Like,
I like that you said Truman Show. I think it's not even that common sense is no longer common or the fact that it's no longer common. I think they're banking on the fact that it's not common,
mhm.
right? They're hoping that like you don't realize that because you searched up for 4 different frying pans that you're not going to realize that they're feeding you this one frying pan. They're going to hope that you're paying for it. So they're banking off the fact that we don't realize these things, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. I think when it comes to the queer community as a whole, I think we are more at risk of social media because we have always longed for that desire and we've always sought out what the norm is. So when it comes to like seeing other people's social media profiles, all these things, it makes us either feel equal, less than, or more than. So like, for example, there was that one trend where like one summer, everyone was posting their pictures on resorts. All of a sudden, people who have never been to a vacation is now going to a resort just to post a fucking resort picture. It's like we are always in competition with ourselves. And I don't know what it is with our community, why we do this so much, but I feel like for me, that's how social media hurts us as a community as a whole. It makes us keep striving to compete with each other and ultimately kind of put each other down or even just not respect each other as a community or as individuals.
Yeah, that's why they took away you being able to see how many likes a photo has.
Right.
Because, you know, you like, even me, and I'm a grown up, like I'd be like, how the hell does this person have 1,500 likes on this
Mhm.
photo?
Mhm.
And they're ugly. Like I list, and it used to, and I used to have to literally like put my phone down and put it away. And once they got rid of it, I feel like everyone's self-esteem felt so much better.
Mhm.
And now people started really posting the things that they wanted to post. Like those curated pages aren't as popular as they used to, you know, where it was like every other square was black and then it was a flower picture and then a photo of you and then black squares. And then, you know, I don't see that as a trend so much anymore because now no one can see how many people have liked your photo. I forget even how to see how many people have liked my damn photo.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
You
But
know?
thank God they took that away.
Agreed. It was
Thank
so toxic.
But to me, so okay, for me,
Right? Because I was gonna say that you were the number one person curated because your other Instagram profile was so curated.
how?
You did exactly what he said. You would have a picture of yourself and a picture of like a flower or like,
Okay, no, but so that what he was saying, like I know the profiles that he's talking about, but mine, that Instagram is private, first of all, and it's only for me. Like it's because like I like a certain layout, but
Mhm.
I have like a creative mind, if you will.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic thing.
Yeah. And if you look at that Instagram, like all my photos there are very like vintage. So it's for me, I look at that Instagram as like a personal photo album. Like it's not for anybody else.
Mhm.
And wasn't that what it was supposed to be in the
Yes.
first place? Like
Yeah,
a
it was
photo
a
album.
photo-
Yeah.
And now
It's like, oh, this is for everybody and
Yeah.
everybody has to like it.
yeah.
But that wasn't my point. So my point was
Sorry.
the likes. For me, the likes didn't really like affect me.
Lies.
No, for real. And even now, like, because I'm like, a lot of people still like this. And even just because they took the number off, you know, a lot of people are going to like this certain image. So I guess it's kind of like almost like a band-aid. It's
I
like,
don't.
no?
Listen, I post whatever the hell I want, and if people like it, they like it. And sometimes I'm gooped and gagged 2 weeks later when I go back and realize how many people like this photo. I'm like, oh damn.
2 weeks. Oh my god.
Because otherwise, I spend the whole day every time my
Yeah.
phone goes off looking at it and be like, who commented, who liked it, who
Yeah.
did- and then it becomes obsessive,
Mhm.
and it's so easy to fall into that. So like literally, I'll post it in the morning and I'll go on about my day, and then at the end of the day, I'll look back and be like, oh hey,
Ooh.
great. And for me, I like posting things on my actual profile because then people will like it and I'll see who liked it and I'll be like, oh, I haven't talked to this person in so long. So I'll go hit them up, and then, so it's a way for me to reconnect with the people who actually like follow me.
Mhm.
Which
And
is supposed to be what it's for.
Exactly.
Not this like sense of false gratification that we get, which like, yeah, we all use it for, but like it all started as a personal photo album and a way to connect and share your experiences with friends. That being said, I would love if in some way, because we all know people post stuff of like their best parts of their day or their best achievements or just the happiest moments, right? I would love if just like one day everybody posts shit that they wouldn't like, or like something that's so terrible.
Like when they
about
wake
their
up
day.
and there's a pimple.
Yeah.
Or they just got dumped.
Yeah.
And
Something not photoshopped, something not like completely edited, something just not fake. It's just
so
See,
interesting.
I like that idea. I think the only way that would have worked is if let's say, for example, we had fucked up Fridays and then you would post that on a fucked up Friday. That would have had to have come 10 years ago.
Right.
I think only because we are so used to, God forbid you have a flaw in a photo, everyone now that seeing it is going to judge you for that flaw.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, whatever you put out on the internet is there forever. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't like this photo and then you regret the photo 2 weeks from now, God forbid, bitch, that ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, once it's out there, it exists for forever because you don't know who screenshotted it. You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know what cloud it's ended up in.
I want to segue from that to, so what do you guys expect from younger generations to come, especially young queer males?
God help them.
It's going to be so toxic.
Yeah, they're going to be consumed in their phones more so than I guess my generation would be. And their mental health is going to be just rock, paper, fucked up all the way.
I actually think the opposite. I think the younger,
So optimistic.
only because I think the younger
Mm.
generation, because they have grown up in this time, they're going to be able to recognize when fake is fake more so than us, because we only know how to be ourselves. Then all of a sudden halfway through it was like, nope, you got to be this. And now we're trying to be this. So we can't spot the difference yet. We're still trying to work that out. We're trying to work the kinks. Whereas for them, it's like, oh no, that's face tuned. You know what I mean? Oh, she
Oh,
cinched
yeah.
her body.
Mhm.
Nothing is real to them. So they're
Mhm.
automatically going to assume everything is fake first. So it's like you're guilty, then proven innocent. Whereas for us, it's the opposite.
Well, I hope so because that's how I've always been. Like I consumed a lot of TV and movies at a young age, and then I started working in the industry. So I can look at something and be like, none of that is real life.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that has helped me a lot. So if that's the case, then that would be great. But I know a lot of like younger people who are already lost in the sauce and can't exist without their phone and can't exist without social media. And that's what scares me.
Mhm.
It frightens me that we're going to lose the human connection. Like once the dating apps started coming out, the community died out.
Mhm.
Like on any given Friday night, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you could go out and like dance and bump into a stranger and make a connection. And if it led to you going home with them, cool, or building whatever, that doesn't happen now. People don't speak in person. Like everyone's so afraid of that rejection that people don't communicate face to face. It's very rare that I see people bump into somebody and be like, hey, you're cute. I think you're cute too. Let's go
I know.
grab a drink. Like,
That doesn't happen anymore.
No,
No.
it doesn't.
I think now it's like, is getting someone's Instagram handle or social media handle
I
like
won't
the
do it.
new, like, oh, can I have your number?
yes.
Right?
Yeah. And it's weird.
And
Yeah, I
like
would never.
liking a couple photos, is that flirting now?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
A
then
mess.
like the DM, that's like the next step.
Do you guys remember when poking was a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just came into it.
Yeah.
Someone poked me the other day and I was like, this
This-
just still exists.
Someone pokes you on. You still
On
use
Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Shade.
Bitch, yeah, I use
Shade.
Facebook.
Oh, sorry. That was like
You don't use
judgment.
See?
No.
You see? And
Oh
this is
my
what
God.
I mean. Like kids, you're on Facebook and no, it's weird. Can I get your Instagram? You don't want my phone number? Like you don't want direct access to me. You want to go through a third party to get access to me when you could get direct access.
See, I always take that as them slyly just trying to increase their following numbers. Like even like if you're swiping,
Ooh.
yeah, because if you're swiping through like Tinder and like, oh, I'm not always on here, add me to Insta. I'm like,
Mhm.
bitch, you're just trying to gain followers.
Some people do that. Yeah, that's true.
What?
Yeah.
No.
That's
Mm.
gross.
I'm glad that I missed that transition.
I see. I don't do that because I feel like when I avoid giving people my social media, because then I feel like sometimes they'll just run because
They're gonna see your makeup.
yeah, they're gonna be like, "Who are these people? I don't know who these people are."
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. Like I'm a man of a certain age, so I grew up in a time where if somebody liked you, they sent you a drink or they bought you a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, I want
You
someone to
know.
buy me a drink.
And that's a practice that once I got a little older and the cutie was in the club, I was like, yo, what are you drinking? I don't want nothing from you.
No one's.
Can you
what?
calm down? All I want to
Ex-
do is buy you a drink. I'm not asking you to be my boyfriend.
Right.
Oh my
Like
God,
it's
the
just a
nerve.
drink.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not something that they're used to.
Hmm.
Right. And like I'm not used to somebody being like, give me your Instagram. I'm like,
That's a weird question.
In
I feel
a
like
way,
that's weird.
In a way, if I were in like the dating pool, I would almost be like, I'd be more interested to be like, okay, well, give me your Instagram. Cause then that way I'm like, I want to see
Oh.
what you portray to people.
Mhm.
Like, I want to see what you think is like, in a way, I guess, like, I want to see you market yourself.
see, but if you go to my Instagram, you're going to be like, oh my God, he's famous. He knows famous people. He works with famous people.
Right.
And then you have this whole facade
Yeah.
of thinking
but then
that
that's
I'm
what
rolling
you
up.
you put that out there. So you want me to think that.
No, but that's part of my life.
Mhm.
Right. Like, but like I said, I have balance. Like
Mhm.
every day it's my daily reading and I post about my niece and, but on the actual profile, it's like interview photos and drag race clips and,
Right, and
I'm
that's-
on tour with this person. And a lot of that stuff is I'm doing that partially because I have to endorse
Right.
whoever I'm working
Of course,
with.
yeah.
So that's why for me, giving my Instagram isn't necessarily the best representation because then people come in it being like, oh, Hollywood J.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but when
There's
I'm not
also other
doing,
parts
yeah,
of
when I'm
you.
not doing that, I'm at home in an old t-shirt watching Girlfriends on my couch. And if you can't watch Girlfriends with me on my couch, then you definitely can't be backstage at the tour
Mhm.
for me.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm like, Instagram, it's weird because we can curate that,
True.
When you're talking to me on the phone, it's a little bit harder, especially now because people aren't used to that type of communication.
Like a phone call.
Like a phone call,
Yeah.
like using your phone
Like
as a phone.
Yeah.
Strange, right?
yeah, yeah. I honestly, I'm gonna say that I'd rather someone if it's a person that I'm interested in, I want to talk to them on the phone. Yes, but I'm saying like phone calls in general. I feel like my generation is like would prefer a text. You know,
Yeah.
Just, like don't leave me a message.
So what?
Why not?
That is so annoying to me. Don't
To-
leave
to
me a
get a
message.
message?
I'm sorry.
Because I have to go into my
Okay.
voicemail. I have to be like,
You mean you have to push the one and
Yeah.
hold it down and it
Yeah.
dials your voicemail for you?
it's
It's too much.
It's actually 4 numbers.
No, that's your password,
Oh my
lover.
God.
Yeah. You still have to do that. Then you press 7.
But then you will sit here and curate a post with all the appropriate hashtags of all the different companies and all of the different things.
Of course, how do you know me already?
Red for Phil.
Not even read for Phil, but just like it's just interesting.
No.
But it's just but your train of thought in that narrative is commonplace
It is.
now, and that's
It is,
so
yeah.
interesting to me. No, don't text me if you want to get to know me. Being like, what's your favorite color? I won't answer.
No, I mean, like, if you want to call me, cool. But like,
No, not cool.
okay,
You
no,
wanna-
no, it's not cool. Unless I start getting to know you more and more, then
What are you afraid of?
The connection that's beyond the screen.
You see,
Is that what
maybe
frightens you?
maybe I associate relationships with loss. Maybe Maybe we're dissecting that.
The deeper psychology.
Don't.
I listen. But at least you can admit it because a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't take ownership over of why they don't want people to call
Yeah.
them, and then when they're forced to, a lot of it stems from being afraid of saying the wrong thing. Because when you're texting, you can type and erase and
You can
type and
edit.
erase and type and erase. But
Again, it's that
Oh.
perception they want. Like you can edit.
exactly,
You can edit. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas
Mm.
like in an actual conversation, a phone, real time, if we're face to face. I can't pause. I can't Photoshop. I can't auto tune. I can't I can't do all that in real life. But now in 2020, it's so easy to just edit everything about yourself and put it on social media. And like, that's what I want you to consume. Whereas in real life, like, you're getting what I am.
I rather that.
This is me.
I just rather know what I'm walking into. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, even with directions, I'm the person who puts it in and then looks at where I'm going. I would just rather know than the surprise.
See, I always have the directions in. Just in case there's something that comes up and I'm like, I have to take a different road. So I'm there on time. But I do feel like there is more to a person and a relationship if you are communicating in person or if over the phone, if anything. I recognize that totally.
I just don't even understand dating now.
No one does.
I have a question about dating, actually, and social media. Now, let's say you're talking to somebody, whatever, and like, in a social media world that we live in, what if they don't have social media?
Well, first of all, you said, what if you're dating someone or like talking or whatever?
Yeah.
See, that in itself is a problem.
Why?
Or talking or whatever?
It could,
Because
well, it's an array. You can you can be doing whatever.
But then that's the gray matter area.
But
Okay,
whatever
go.
you'd
Okay.
be doing.
And they don't have social media.
Yeah. Like, let's say you're interested in
That's
somebody.
weird.
And so that's my point.
It's weird.
Is it weird? Do you instantly find them creepy? Like, are you
Sociopath.
Are you
No,
thinking
just
like,
kidding.
why don't you have social media? Like, could you date somebody that doesn't have social media? Like, what is the truth?
I don't know if I could date. The only reason I would find it difficult to date someone who doesn't have social media at all is because I spend a decent amount of time interacting and engaging on social media. So,
But
they
for
would-
your career,
usually,
right? Like, that's a big portion of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually. But like, I mean, if you go through the history and see the stuff that I've double tapped, a lot of it has nothing to do with work.
Right.
But getting somebody who isn't on social media to understand that, I think, would be challenging. So that would be the only reason why dating someone who doesn't have social media might be strange. But I don't think it's weird not to. I know but they're grown-ups. Sorry.
Well, I know some people that don't have social media because they chose not to use it anymore. And
Mhm.
I feel like you can still have a relationship with that person, friendly or not, or whatever kind of relationship it is. But I feel like when you're trying to, like, I don't know, use humor in a way of like communication, and you're like, oh, did you see, or like something to do with like the world and news and stuff, and you're like, oh, did you hear this? Yeah. Or did you see this video? And you're like, oh, wait, I don't have social media. Right. Okay. Never mind then.
But then why should that be the basis of like a friendship or a relationship?
It's not, but it's those moments where you're like,
Yeah.
you want to share this.
But can't
something.
you share something, I don't know, like
It's
face to face with them, like
it's
an
almost
interaction,
like-
an adventure?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to just be like, oh, I'm going to send you this meme. What about like, oh, why don't we go out and do something?
It's almost like interracial dating. You know what I mean? It's like when you are the other in the relationship and they all have their common joke. And then we have to stop laughing to explain it to you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm good. I did that. You're welcome.
That was a good example. Yeah. See, I couldn't date someone that doesn't have social media.
Because you got 300 people liking your photos on a regular basis.
No, okay. Well, let me rephrase that. If I know you already and you don't have social media, then cool. But like, let's say for example, like I swiped right on Tinder and I ask you what's your Instagram or what's your
I don't have
Facebook.
one.
I don't have one. I'm like, you're a sketchy bitch.
Are you like, what are you hiding?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
weird.
100%. So I'm like, I immediately assume you're a catfish. Now on the flip side, if you do have social media and you're way too expressive on social media, whether it be physically or mentally, problem as well.
I like people who are physically expressive on social
So do
media.
I. If you see my Tinder, or not my Tinder, my Twitter is basically all just.
Oh, it's smut.
And
Yeah.
your OnlyFans coming
I'm so proud of
soon.
it though. Like I'm so proud of
my
it. Don't
God.
like not. It's not my smut, but all I do on Twitter is like other people's
Yeah,
smut.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
for
like
sure.
free porn.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Absolutely.
this is lit.
I love Twitter porn. Twitter porn is so good.
It's the one.
because it's real.
It's it.
Look,
It is. Yeah.
I wouldn't say real.
and you can reach out, but
Well,
reach out and touch. Be like, I'm coming to Texas.
don't ruin my fantasy.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. Okay, so I want to wrap up. The last thing I want to ask you guys though is if you could tell yourself one thing about social media, let's say 10 years ago, what would it be?
Who's going first?
Well, I'll go
Yeah.
since I was around when social media first like took its thing. I don't think you were.
Yes, I was.
Well, you weren't like, how old were you when really like social media like really kicked off?
Like 17 or something.
Anyway.
No, I was younger, way younger.
I love that you feel like you were like the oldest, wisest.
No, well, you know
person.
what?
It's
Okay.
so cute.
I was gonna say this in the last episode, but like I am, yes, I'm 30, but like
Thank you
I
for saying that out loud.
know. Internally, I'm actually like an 84-year-old man. So
Mhm.
I'm the eldest in this room, I feel.
Wow.
If you think you're an 84-year-old man, then I must be 102.
Maybe.
I think I'm
Maybe
my
we
age.
both have old souls.
I definitely do. But go answer the question.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is I would just tell myself to just not buy into it. Like I would be like, you know what? Yeah, this is gonna be a great tool. This is a fun thing, but like it's not real. Don't overthink it. Don't engage too much into it. Yeah, have fun with it, but don't take it too seriously.
I would be the exact opposite. Monetize, 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 monetize. It's too late for me now to try. Well, not too late, but like the effort that it takes to go through doing all of that. I don't have that in me. Like I don't. So my advice to myself would be like, get on board and figure out how this thing is going to make you money quickly.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like if I was one of the first to fucking get Instagram and just slowly allow those motherfuckers to build up, I could be Kim K right now.
Oh my
Like-
god. Y'all are crazy.
People are paying their rent off of
which is great. yeah.
Instagram.
Mhm.
But then at what cost?
At
Their
the co-
sanity?
at the cost of them being able to pay their rent. And they
Yeah.
commit 3 hours a day or whatever to promoting and doing whatever they have to do.
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. There are people whose livelihoods depend on Instagram.
Vince, what would you say? Because you have a pretty decent following on Instagram and YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, you're a star.
And no. I think it's hard for me to say what it's the advice that I'm giving to my like past self, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say
17-year-old Vince.
yes, I would say don't use social media as like a self-discovery. Try to figure out who you are now and then let the world have that and share that with the world.
He just got a poetry snap from me. Yes.
Thank you.
That was very, very deep.
Although watching your progress with self-discovery could be very entertaining, just saying. Or completely embarrassing. But
Like, I think about high school kids who like have to go through all of this stuff in front of everybody in their school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because these kids all follow each other in their schools,
Mhm.
right? So like you get dumped, the whole school knows.
Yeah.
You get a pimple, the whole school knows.
Mhm.
Like you get your period, everybody knows. Like it's that's crazy to me. And I did a lot of rambunctious and not so great things when I was a teenager and in my early 20s. And I'm glad that social media was not around to witness any of it.
Oh my god, me too.
the tagged photos.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Even
I
on
s-
Facebook, I had to untag myself
Whoa.
in a bunch of stuff.
I just
I
hide
always
them.
did.
Just hide
Yeah.
it. Just hide it.
I was like, ooh.
Cool. Guys, that was amazing. Hollywood, tell us what you have coming up and plug your socials, all that jazz.
What do I have coming up? I just got casted in this movie. Which is why my dates got all messed up originally. What else is happening? I don't know. I'm waiting for the world to open back up and for more tour opportunities to come from Drag Race, but you can follow me on Instagram at Hollywood Jade. And that's the only one that really matters.
Do we any word on season 2?
I have no idea what's happening with season 2. I'm just praying to God that I'm still involved. I mean, I feel like I'll be involved.
I'm sure you will, yeah.
I ate that.
Mm-hmm.
No tea, no shade. I ate that. And I want someone to try and do better than I did.
Not really well. Yeah.
Personality wise alone.
Mhm.
We'll touch on the rest of it, but like, honey, she came on the screen and the screen said, ha
Especially for your first season.
First season 1 and my first time really being featured on any platform like that where it's just me. Like I wasn't playing a
Mhm.
character. It literally was like, okay, we want you to go here and run rehearsal,
Mm.
work. So shout outs to Canada's Drag Race and World of Wonder and RuPaul and Crave and Belle and Saloon Media for saying yes to this little black boy from Scarborough.
Mhm. Amen.
Love that.